Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Generation Dan, at least 2/3 of it, because the old guy's probably doing old guy shit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show. You are joined by yours truly, Caleb C. McDuff, your Zoomer. Who else is with me today?
I'm Atlas Novak, and I am your millennial. And without Dino here, we
Talking about young guy shit. Finally, some youthful energies in the room. I don't have to freaking call my mom and get mad at her for being older than me after this episode. Thank God, dude.
And our guest today, you may have heard him the last time he was here, Nik Nieblas. How are you, good sir?
Hey, what's up, bitches and motherfuckers and other expletives?
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're bringing it young. We're getting rid of all those geriatrics.
Well, I mean, because the problem is, like, me and Dino are the ones usually getting the guests. So it's all like, I hung out with comics older than me for the most part. Dino's already old. So every time we have a guest on here, it's just them.
Fuck them kids.
So, yeah.
It's so painful. Because every week, it just feels like I'm on a field trip to the old folks' home again, where you just get to sit on a leather couch for like an hour and 45 minutes and just let old people ramble about things like the war and how good the stock market was in the 70s or whatever the fuck they want to talk about. It's so excruciating because when are we going to talk about real world issues like, self-driving cars and like the future of the metaverse and NFTs? Like, let's get on some young guys shit. Let's talk about the future.
It's not lost on me that Atlas was talking about how him and Dino are usually the ones like scheduling things and like getting this all together. Ones.
And then I only show up like half the time anyway. So
no one has any solutions for. Let's just shoot the shit on it.
Yeah, I mean, life gets in the way and stuff, and then also like you're welcome to schedule guests anytime. But
the only thing is that I don't have any friends. So because I quit comedy probably like, how long has it been now? It's probably been like 7 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Since the last time I did anything related to comedy. So, I mean, I've pretty much lost those connections. And then everyone else I would invite is just like, I guess it would be more like a zoo exhibit of just like, let's observe a natural Zoomer in their habitat. We can ask them questions about what their view of the world is.
You certainly can. I mean, so on my last podcast, Bad Reading, I had my dad, my mom, and my sister as guests at all separate points. So it could be kind of whatever. It
can just be whatever. I mean, that's true. Maybe I'll just have some of my friends on here sometime.
Yeah.
Then we could just talk about communism or something.
Ooh, talk about some communism.
There we go.
Most people probably just put this on and then fold laundry anyways, right? It's just chatter in the background. Mm-hmm. Nobody's really listening to us. This
slide in a couple of OJ references or something about Atlas hating LeBron James, then they'll perk up for like 2 seconds, and then
Atlas is talking about racist shit again.
There we go.
I'm finally in control of the soundboard.
The soundboard is yours.
Have y'all embraced how chaotic and meaningless the world is yet?
Definitely.
100%. Absolutely. It's the only way to be.
I heard that this is going into, we are like the nihilistic generation, and I think it's generations. We're all just like, well, fuck it.
Well, because we're kind of that first generation in a long time where we have it worse than our parents did.
Right.
And like the whole point was to get it to be on the upward swing, and then the boomers were like, "Nope, fuck you," and an X, and from then on, just shit's getting worse.
All just so billionaires could exist,
Oh yeah, definitely. For sure. Thank you, Reagan.
Your Twitter has like the most base shit ever. It's amazing.
I was trying like
it does, dude.
Little just fart jokes and then communism.
It's great stuff.
There you go. Perfect.
And the best part is you have like 4 kids, right?
Yeah, definitely. They're all going to be raised as like hardcore leftists. They're all going to be
awesome.
Overthrow me, so
Except there's going to be that one kid who's the black sheep, and then they just turn into like a neoconservative,
like Michael Keaton on that one. What was it? Family Ties.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Good shit. I'd be so upset. We've already discussed. We talked to my youngest daughter. She's 8 now. And we were sitting around the dinner table and stuff, and we asked, like what kind of values should like the people that you date or like want to marry have, all that kind of stuff. My youngest goes, well, I know Daddy wouldn't want me to marry a cop or anybody in the military. I'm like, well, yeah, that's you're right. That's definitely stay away from that. Considering cops are 40 to 60% likely to beat their spouses. I think something like that.
Yes. I mean, a pig tastes like bacon. I mean, other truths that are.
The police objective. Are not. What is it? They are not required by law to protect anyone except themselves. So, a full day to you.
Thank you, Uvalde, for showing us the truth.
And Uvalde to you.
Unfortunately, and Uvalde to you, ladies and gentlemen.
And then there was that thing where, like, the cops from Uvalde are harassing the parent who dared to try and go get her kids from inside.
Oh my God!
Fuck them so. I hope they get fucked so hard in the ass with a dick that has like super AIDS, because we more or less cured AIDS by this point. So super AIDS.
I just am really curious as to like who was protected and served that day.
Yeah, the police department.
Was anybody?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you think about all the layers, let's get into some conspiracy shit. Because, like, why would the police benefit from letting children die? You know what I mean? Why would that be of a benefit at all to the state? Well, it terrifies everyone.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how much gun sales have gone up after every single mass shooting.
Yeah, Christ.
It's all about money, guys.
Here we go.
It's all about money.
Here we go. The monopoly man has ruined the world. I love capitalism. It makes my dick hard.
There's nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it.
And here I was going to be like, all right, I'm sorry we were late starting because I got pushed in the pool. Let's talk about summer stuff. Fuck it. Already into the... like, because it seems like every summer since, like, I don't know, 2018, like, that's when all the crazy shit goes down politically. I just need one time where the political fuckery happens in, like, sweater weather. I'm just so sick of having to go outside and protest.
November 2024, we got you, bro.
Yeah, like protest dumb shit when it's like 90 degrees outside. Drives me nuts.
Well, when every single election moving forward is going to be overturned by state legislators anyway, then, we don't... You get your little cocoa and your nice little sweater, get in front of a fire, and watch it all burn.
Yeah, you can put your gas mask on by the hearth and then just like enjoy the last moments of fresh oxygen that you have inside of your apartment with the cops outside and everything in 5 years that's going to be brilliant and wonderful.
The 1914 Christmas truce was a lot more awesome than that. And that was already pretty fucked up.
But didn't they murder each other after that?
Yeah, so the whole thing the whole story with that was leading up to the Christmas of 1914, like, war will be over by Christmas. War will be over by Christmas. War wasn't over by Christmas. So a combination of that combined with, like, the weather just being nice, like, a lot of the trenches drained from lack of rain, and, like, dry cold froze the ground, so it was like a floor. And just people missed... It was like their first Christmas away from home. So you had, like, people up and down the line, like, singing Christmas carols.
And of course, also, as with any war, these are probably very close to, like, children, 17, 18 years old, early 20s.
Yeah, definitely. So you had that, like, some of them, there was no truce at all. Some, it was, like, a full-on, like, English, if you know shoot, we know shoot. Some of them are, it's like one guy walking out in no man's land with a newspaper, like, don't fucking kill me. And then they like traded hats or like traded chocolate for tea, things like that. And then the generals, once they got wind of that, were like, all right, fuck you guys, we're not doing that again. War is war. Right. And then
good times.
Yep,
good times, dude. Why do they always send the poor? Why don't presidents fight the war?
Some of those that burn crosses
are the same
workforces.
No, some of those who work forces
are the same that burn crosses.
Did that?
Did you guys hear about that? There was like some radio station that got bought out, and then they fired all the DJs except one, and it was like oldies, like, jazz station. So they just put a continuous loop of "Killing in the Name" for like 24 hours.
I like that though. I like that. That's a good peaceful protest.
That's like funny shit. Like it's a good protest when it's like hilarious.
Yeah, those are the only kind of protests that aren't going to get like rubber bullets in your eyes, where it's just like it's an extension of his job, and like you can protest that way. Like that motherfucker that was like praying on the 50-yard line. The Supreme Court just upheld that too, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot more nuance to that than just like, well, it's my right to pray. Well, if students and parents are feeling uncomfortable, and you're obviously making a big deal out of it enough to go to the Supreme Court, dude, maybe there needs to be a little bit of a separation of state and I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there was some old guys wrote something about it in some dumbass piece of parchment like 1,000 years ago, and who gives a fuck anymore because I have TikTok now. Don't you understand? The world's a different place. Who gives a fuck, dude?
I need to digest as much information in small seconds increments as possible. You know what I mean?
I just rights. Like I don't even know my right from left. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? What?
And then your sense of direction.
Talking about old guy shit. Now we're talking about ancient old white guy shit that keeps ruining our lives for the indefinite period of humankind in the country of the United States of America.
I think we broke him.
Proud to be an American.
Happy July 4th, by the way. That's tomorrow.
At the time of recording this, July 4th is tomorrow. This is definitely not. This is a good year to just be like, no.
Yeah. I'm not. I mean, we're going to a friend's house, and I'm sure that we're gonna try and do the sparklers and shit. But I'm just, the spirit behind it is not gonna be so much patriotism as I like a good burger.
Yeah,
I like some
exactly because I think for every 4th of July, there's always this spirit where we just like fuck you England just for a day,
sure,
right? Like just for that day we get to be like, and then this year we're like, you know what? Not in the mood this year.
You know what?
Just give me a burger
this time.
Maybe England was right, shirts. Like we'll just, maybe we should have just stayed to the colonies and,
I'm
maybe
putting on
a monarchy.
Katie just had me watch Hamilton with her.
Yeah.
Because they got it on Disney Plus now. And it definitely had like just King George being like, "You'll be back."
Right.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm putting on a powdered wig and a red coat tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. The tea is staying on the boat this year.
Yeah.
It's staying on the boat.
Tea is on the boat. God damn it!
There's the episode title.
Well, I mean, listen, we can talk about how much of a shithole, like piece of garbage capitalist society that we live in right now, or we can talk about freaking getting pushed into swimming pools and stuff. Well, come on, guys, it's summer. I mean, the world is ending. We've been doing this for 20,000 years, and we've only got maybe 8 left, but it's all good. I mean, we can just enjoy a swimming pool.
For me though, even swimming pools and getting pushed in a pool and the things that are all surrounding these fun hangout times and stuff, I had a fairly inconsistent childhood and even early adulthood. So I remember getting stabbed with a sparkler in the eye, getting pushed into a pool and being like, I have all my clothes on. This is really frustrating. And
right.
all these things on the outside, I'm sure people are like, this is fun and enjoyable and hilarious. But on the inside, I'm like, this fucking sucks too. Everything. Nothing is good. Nothing is good.
It especially sucks now because you got your fucking phone in your pocket or whatever. You can't push people. That's something that I think is going to go the way of ripping on your spouse and marriage is terrible jokes. Where just Zoomers aren't going to push each other in the pool. You got a phone in your pocket.
I've heard that a good prank can be fixed in less than 10 seconds. And and the person who was pranked is laughing. That's a pretty good one.
It's usually either punching up or, like you said, can be fixed in 10 seconds.
Right. But I don't really condone these YouTube dudes who are going picking beef. They're like, we're 4 white guys from the suburbs. We're gonna go to Compton. We're gonna talk trash to people. It's like, well, dude, at the end you get your ass kicked and it's obvious why. Because you're tone deaf.
You ever seen like these like YouTube pranksters that'll like there's like been a long history of YouTube guys that'll like just fake scenarios, for clicks or whatever. You ever seen the one where they like parked like a car that was just decked out in like Trump stuff in like, as they called it, the hood, and then they just like hired a bunch of actors to like trash the car or whatever? Like, okay, like, are we trying to incite something here? Are you the CIA? What's going on right now? Like, this is weird.
And then we're gonna be like, all right, so this is super crack, and we're gonna introduce it to the inner city.
Well, it's like when there was those protests, right? And there's a lot of video. Like the only video of people like smashing windows and like setting fires, or at least a lot of those, were like these like white dudes who, and like other people were like, hey, we don't want to do that. We're protesting. We don't want to break stuff or whatever. And they're like, yeah, man, well, I'm angry like you. They're like, no, we don't want that. So it seemed like there was like this, either they are like just wanting to like cause chaos along with it and say this is a legitimate form of protest, or there is like seriously some shit. Like there was even, I mean, I don't want to give too much credence to like, Reddit and YouTube like sleuths and whatnot.
I mean, yeah.
But there's some people pointing out some interesting things that are like, I'm just asking questions here, I'm just pointing out some interesting things where it's like, is that guy looks like a cop?
Yeah.
Every time you say that phrase, I'm just asking questions, you grow a little bit of a Tucker Carlson bow tie.
I'm just asking questions. Let's say, hypothetically here, that I was going to ask you a question.
Through my face. Yeah.
Yeah, or your voice gets one octave higher, like closer and closer to Ben Shapiro.
Let's say, hypothetically, that I was in a riot, in a protest, okay? And let's say, hypothetically, that if I were to incite, say, someone to flip over a van and set it on fire, okay? Hypothetically, let's just say that perhaps, maybe, I would be part of a grander conspiracy. Yes, correct. Okay. Now, that doesn't change the fact that my nose is ginormous and my sister is very ugly, but still.
And I don't know how to fuck my wife.
You ever run into those... those things where you talk to somebody and then you realize that they hold some kind of point of view and it kind of changes the way you look at them a little bit. I have an issue with like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and all these like right-wing guys, because they act as though they almost like don't know what they're doing, right? Like that's part of the grift, is like they're just like kind of hiding behind their pseudo-intellectualism. And then they like, but in reality, if you really, really get close to it, they're like hardcore racists. Like they're really like.
You don't even have to dig that deep. You just gotta watch a couple clips and you get the picture.
I want to introduce you to something called the Know Nothing Party from the 1850s. Yeah, it's all the same shit. It's like right wingers have like one move done the same way over and over. They have one joke. They like, I'm just asking questions.
All throughout history, really, it's like been that way. It's fucking crazy. You ever realize that like maybe you used to like hold somebody in high regard, but then you realize, oh shit, like Kevin Sorbo. I used to love myself some Hercules growing up, right? You guys remember Hercules, the TV show?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, shut the fuck up, Caleb. But it's he was the guy, right? But then he comes out and he's like, now he's all anti-vax and he's like super right wing, and you're like, dude, you're like ruining this. I really enjoyed this piece of art that you did. That was very campy and like whatever. But now I can't even enjoy that or share it with my kids and stuff. Be like, oh yeah, this guy grew up to be like a really, really shitty racist person.
Now every time Hercules stabs someone with a sword, it's ironic because now we're just thinking about vaccines the whole time. Now the context is different. I can't appreciate it the same way. Yeah, I get you. Same thing with House of Cards. Every time I watch a scene with Kevin Spacey in it or play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare's campaign, it's just contextually so bad now.
Wait, what did that have to do? What did that have to do with Call of Duty?
He was the antagonist in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare's campaign.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, freaking, he used to be one of my favorite actors. No bullshit.
Seven, fucking Baby Driver. He was in that movie 21. Do you guys remember that movie?
I don't know that one.
It's about like people counting cards in blackjack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that talented people can be massive pieces of shit.
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
Separating the art from the artist is hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if I could have a choice, I would not participate in any of these like shitty people's arts. Of course, everyone's like, well, everyone's flawed and but not everyone's like, trying to fuck kids. So
yeah.
Trying to fuck kids or trying to make it so people can't get health care.
That's the doozy.
Which R. Kelly just got sentenced, right? So that's
30 years.
30 years.
I mean, it's not entirely bittersweet. It's a little bittersweet because it's like, yes, there's justice against a pedophile, but also here's another black man going to jail. Whereas then you have somebody like Kevin Spacey. Is he facing charges? Probably not. So, we got one, but hey.
Okay. I have one question. Now that R. Kelly is in prison for 30 years, does he have a 30-year-long edition of Trapped in the Closet, but just about being in prison?
He will probably record it in prison.
Yeah. Right,
because does he even have any money? He would strike me as like maybe also going the way of like Wesley Snipes and these kind of guys that are just like, well, what's taxes? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not sure what happened with him, but I just love the idea of him being behind bars, like with his hands on the bars, like an old timey prisoner, and just singing. Yeah.
Oh my god! If he gets out early for any reason, that's gonna be an album cover.
Oh yeah,
it's happening. It's happening. It's going to be a double album, and half of it is going to be recorded over a phone from this is a collect call from
whatever prison he's doing.
From an inmate at.
Did you guys ever see the American?
Yeah, for whatever, right?
What?
Just start pumping all kinds of shit out if people know your name. Just like OJ wrote that book about like, well, if I did do it, or like whatever else. He's just like, somebody will buy it.
Yeah,
just out of the novelty of it.
You might as well have just called it Double Jeopardy My Ass, the movie, or the book, or whatever.
Right, catch me, bitch.
Double Jeopardy, bitch. The movie. That's funny. Did you guys ever see that American Dad episode where it's like a parody of Trapped in the Closet?
I didn't.
So it's Scott Grimes, the guy who plays Steve, the son, loves to sing. So they'll give him like a musical number anytime that they want him to, and he's a really good singer. But he does it's like he's trapped in a locker. So like Bully, slams him in a locker, and he's like, it's in the girls' locker room. It's like she's approaching the locker, that I'm practicing soccer. Like he's freaking out because she's puts over the locker. Like it's a good episode, but like it's the B plot for whatever reason. So they're just like, okay, like. Some other stuff is happening, and then it just cuts back to Steve singing about being trapped in a locker.
Shout outs to American Dad.
Yeah, good show.
Decent show. Sponsor this week, American Dad. Yeah. They're a sponsor for the show. Pretty sure.
No, I'm pretty sure with Dino and me probably going bald as we get older. I'm hoping Keeps sponsors.
Brought to you by Keeps.
Yeah. No, because like I have this widow's peak thing. Where like this won't assimilate with the rest of the hairline, but I don't know if it's like if I'm probably not gonna go bald like this where it's like the middle out, but probably like that if that's how it happens.
Yeah, your face is just gonna get larger like mine. Yeah. That's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
That's some old guy shit for you right there for sure. Talking about our hairlines.
Yeah. Plus side, I think I can pull off the Walter White look, so I think I'll be.
There you go. You can just go full Heisenberg. Let's see how bad I'm. Oh, I'm doing okay.
I think you're doing fine.
You don't think I'm doing all right. It's just a little messed up right now,
like
but
singing lead for a 2000 screamo band.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Look at me. I got my audition for Lorna Shore tomorrow night at freaking 8:00, dude.
I need to just do a compilation of all of the rare insults that have happened on this show. Most of them are Dino doing it about himself, but like, yeah.
I don't know if that was an insult. For as much as I love 2000 screamo music.
Oh my god! Fun fact: I have both Volume 1 and 2 of the Zen of Screaming because for a summer I just really wanted to fucking just start Suicide Silence 2, basically. What? Oh, these references you don't understand, Atlas? No. Oh, Atlas doesn't understand my young guy references. It's happening, folks. The score has been settled. Yes. Oh, finally some young guy shit. Yes. All right. Yeah, Suicide Silence is just a good band, dude. Just a good band. Check it out. Shout out to them. Rest in peace to Mitch Lucker, I think is his name. Something like that. I can't remember it right off the top of my head, but he died in a motorcycle accident, and it was sad, but good band. near and dear to my heart. I quit Walmart to that band. Fun fact. They were in my headphones while I was writing my resignation letter. So
awesome.
Shout outs to them.
Oh, I thought that'd be weird if they were just playing it on the speaker and you were yelling at your manager about it.
They're just playing on the loudspeaker and I'm just...
Yeah. Shout out to Walmart, too. Really, really keeping it real.
Really keeping it a stack with their worker exploitation, dude.
See, that's something that the whole thing with like the loading, they're like loading's bad. I'm like, if it's a like multi-million-dollar corporation that like drove out mom and pop shops, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
The rule goes, or so I've heard some say, if you see someone stealing from Walmart,
no, you
didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything.
Not that I'm encouraging that.
I have allegedly stolen so much from Walmart. Not confirmed, but let's just say hypothetically in a Ben Shapiro world where hypotheticals
are the abundant. Limitations on just like minor or like petty theft?
What are my if
are we talking grand larceny sizes? What kind of?
No, dude. I'm just talking like alleged like DVDs or like Lego Star Wars sets. Just
get up there.
Whatever, dude.
That's impressive.
They make it so easy. They make it so easy. Allegedly.
You run away with those Lego sets in your pockets. They'll hear you, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you just show up to Walmart in a suit with your hair done and you got like the friggin' translucent pigment that I've got going on and you just buy a couple things and you got the thing that you didn't buy, they just look at you and they're like, have a good day, sir. And I'm like, thank you very much.
That also works at like grocery stores where you have the reusable bags in the cart. You put the things you don't want to scan and then just go through the self-checkout.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. There's a system, allegedly.
Yeah.
It all says this in the Anarchist Cookbook. You can go check it out.
Oh my God.
Shout outs to we'll be posting the Amazon link in the description of this video.
Yeah, despite the fact that we hate Amazon.
I used to, I don't know if you noticed this, but like some of those services like Amazon have gotten worse. Mm-hmm. Like price wise, I'm comparing now to just like hopping over to the store real quick and grabbing whatever I want to get instead of doing Amazon. I'm like, it used to be way cheaper to even just order online and whatever else, but it's not as cheap. All this stuff is like, it's all like all these duplicates of the same thing from different companies that you're like, okay, so clearly some of these are just going to be like boxes full of sawdust, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's also like the thing where they're running out of people to exploit. Did you guys hear about that? Where like they literally released a report like, we're going to run out of people at some point. Which they keep saying, like, we're going to automate you out of existence. I'm like, fucking do it already, if that's how you're going to be.
I wish they would. It would push for everyone else to finally realize how, like, if we want technology to push us forward, we're probably going to have to figure out how to, like, function in a society that doesn't have jobs for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? So are we just going to, well, they die. I mean, I know there are literally people who think, like, yeah, they die. They die.
I mean, listen, unless like, all I'm going to say is that when it comes to, America, Reagan had it right. Because I remember every time I just get punched down by my bosses or the corporate overlords, I'm just thinking, wow, I'm really feeling the effects of just your oppression trickling down all over my face and my balls right now. And it's just, the trickling is everywhere. And you know what? Shout outs for.
Let's hear for the trickling.
Let's hear it for trickling down. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for the trickle boys.
When he died, my school, because I went to private school from like kindergarten up through 10th grade, and
you got that vibe.
Yeah, pretty much. And they had the flag at half mast for a month when Reagan died. A fucking month.
Wow.
For the guy who outright ignored the AIDS pandemic and introduced gun control when he was the governor of California because the Black Panthers started arming themselves. That guy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Also, a friend of mine who's a history professor, he told me that during the opening, like the televised opening of Disneyland in 1955. They interviewed him because that was when he was still an actor. And they were like, "Are you excited to do that?" He's like, "Yeah, take my wife." Blah blah blah. And then like later in the broadcast, you can see him making out with some random, like in the background.
Nice.
Ronald Reagan, everybody.
Ronald Reagan, everybody, just trickling his little dick all over the fucking southwestern United States.
That's so Reagan.
That's
so Reagan.
It's the future he can see.
Disney, you want me to write that pilot? Reach out. I'm gonna write that. That's so Reagan pilot. It'll be a tween show.
Katie and I were watching old episodes of All That today. You ever watch All That, Nick? Or Taylor? All That was like basically Nickelodeon's version of SNL in the 90s. It was like SNL for kids.
Oh, I know what that is. Okay.
It was what Keenan did before he was on SNL.
I see.
And
I didn't have cable growing up.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. So he was so good even then. Like the other cast members are like kind of bad because they're children. And he's really good. He's like a great comedic actor even then. Like Keenan was born for this shit.
I think he's probably going to be that. Is he still? He's still on SNL, right?
He's still there. He's been there almost 20 years. Next year,
he didn't write his own ticket, right? He's just like, I mean, he probably doesn't even have to do it anymore.
No, he doesn't.
If he saves some money and whatnot,
Yeah.
Isn't that the dream? I just want one gig, Pay me a nice little chunk, then I could just chill the fuck out.
Yeah. I think that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it was for our parents, where it was like you had the one job, you get a gold watch, and you go retire.
Sure.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice? And then they're like, well, you can get more money if you job hop. I'm like, I don't want to deal with job hopping. It's so annoying having to reacclimate, know where you can take naps. That takes a while to figure out.
It does. It's way too long, frankly.
Learning how long of a bathroom break they'll tolerate.
Yeah.
Saying anything. And then you got to go with the, well, I have IBS. You got.
No, that's the first thing I bring up. All right, so over here is the break room. I have IBS. What?
So I plan on shitting extensively on company time. Is there like an allocated space for that?
Yeah.
I think is there an allocated? You mean the bathroom? Is that?
I mean, listen. I just
All right, let me explain. I'm going to destroy this bathroom. Do you have a bathroom that nobody uses?
I'm going to need a substantially reinforced porcelain here, guys.
Yeah.
I got a lot of shit up in this ass, and I need to know where your office is.
Every time I sit down on the can, it's like a shotgun cocking. Just
every time, dude. I swear to God, I just eat a Chipotle burrito, and the artillery is like T-minus 30 seconds to impact.
I've recently become a little bit of an evangelist for myself being lactose intolerant, and I think a lot more people are lactose intolerant.
Sure.
And they're just in denial.
Absolutely.
I noticed after kind of like getting rid of dairy in my diet, I stopped having these just massive relinquishments of bowel out of my anus. And it was really amazing for me, and I'd really like to pass on this knowledge, guys. If you don't eat things with lactose in it, maybe you'll have some nice solid shits.
Wow.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, if this message has reached you, please be sure to reach out to Nick on Twitter and express your gratitude for your now fluid ass movement.
Inversely, then, if you want to take a bathroom break at work, go have an ice cream cone.
Have yourself a double cheese and
there you go. Yeah.
Just live your life.
Just live a little. Embrace what it means to be an American for once.
What is taking a shit if not, a personal emergency every time?
I feel terrible that we've drifted into this territory.
I feel like I'm closer to God personally.
This has been a spiritual experience. For everyone.
Kumbaya, my ass.
Also a good episode title.
Kumbaya, your ass indeed, sir.
Blessed be.
Do you guys watch Archer at all?
It's been a long time. I used to watch it with my aunt when she would babysit me when I was like 12.
What? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay.
Yeah! Talking about young guy shit!
Okay. So there's like that thing where he's hungover and he has that little prayer when he's like, "Give me the pitcher, Woodhouse," and then he goes, "For I am a sinner in the hands of an angry God, Bloody Mary, full of vodka. Blessed are you among cocktails. Pray for me now and at the hour of my death, which I hope is soon. Amen." That's being close to God.
That is as close as we're gonna get, frankly.
Yeah.
Other than, of course, when you just, I mean, God, have you ever just had a dump that just like was so?
Oh my God!
Beautiful?
I tried.
Listen, like sometimes you just sit down and it just flows out of you like the lyrics of like Hallelujah. You know?
You don't have a squatty potty though? Do you got a squatty potty?
No.
You fuckers don't have a squatty potty?
I don't have a squatty potty. I go friggin' crisscross applesauce on my porcelain.
My mom does in her house.
You got to get that squat pot, man.
I've heard good things. I do want one of those potty putters, the little golf strip that you can just like.
Do you have in your bathroom?
Not a lot, but I can make it happen for activities.
Yeah, my bathroom is practically the length of my feet. It's very thin. It's not. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta get the combination. Okay, so you get the potty putter, and then you get the golf club that has the little tube in it that you can piss in. You ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, so they make fake golf clubs, so that if you're out on the course and you gotta piss real bad, you just put your little dick bib over the handle of the golf club and you can piss in it. So you do both. You can sit on the toilet, you piss in the club, and then you're putting.
I gotta say, guys,
golf is the dumbest game.
I've smoked weed for a really long time, and quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And this, by far, has got to be the highest conversation.
Yes, it
I've ever had. Like, not only are we talking about just like random shit, politics, and then literal shit, but then. Like we're talking about it in such a Zen-like way,
Yeah.
And I do feel much closer to all of you as a result. Mm-hmm. And
absolutely, yeah. So, I don't know, dude. I just feel like I want to like have some skin on skin contact. That's how fucking like our energies are vibing right now, Just like let's press up cheeks together or something.
It's like
get to know each other a little bit.
What's it called? Like after your child is born, you're supposed to have like skin to skin contact to bond with them.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to imagine Caleb on top of Nick just being like just
what Caleb needs after every show of intimacy and vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just like
on on my broad hairless chest.
Absolutely. Oh shit! Let's record it and sell it at a gas station, dude.
Record which part?
Just
the skin.
There's a market.
Contact.
There's a market for all of this.
There's a cuddling market for sure, right? There has to be.
I think you can hire people to cuddle with now.
Like, yeah, you can.
Definitely a thing. Yeah,
you can.
Sure.
Would you ever?
I have a wife.
I know, but like hypothetically, Ben Shapiro world, you don't have a wife. You're lonely, you're single, but you're also a bachelor. You got some money to spare. Are you paying a cuddler to come over?
I have no idea what lengths I would go to. I'm a very affectionate person, so I also want like affection from the people whom I love and whatnot.
Absolutely.
So I don't know to what lengths I would go to if I was alone to get that kind of validation and affection and whatnot. So. I can't say. I'm glad. I have said many times before. I am so incredibly glad that I am married to somebody whom I enjoy being with. And if I were to try dating in the environment that I see, just from afar, I'm not even like intimately aware. Just from like Reddit and like screenshots and shit, or people talking about on Twitter and social media, it seems like a goddamn hellscape.
Yeah.
It seems impossible to have like any actual connection with anybody, and even if you do, it's almost like everyone's got like a list, of people that they would rather be with that they're just like open because like they have access to so many that it's almost like how are you even gonna choose? It's fucked up, man.
That's a really interesting point. Yeah, I think if my life had just gone like slightly differently, especially in the last like 12 months, dude, I probably would have started a cult by now, man. So I'm just thankful that my life is shaping up the way it is, dude, because I would be in a cabin in the woods and I would be wearing all white robes, well, okay, maybe not all white. There's got to be a little bit of blue or something in there because, we're getting a little, I already looked the part a little bit, and I apologize for that. It's not my fault, but, like...
Somebody's already got that white robe look on lock. So
yeah.
A nice...
Yeah, if you don't put another color in there, it's going to be called something like, I swear to God, I'm not a grand wizard.
Maybe a nice lavender,
Oh, man.
I'm all for, I would love to have like a commune, just a full self-sustaining commune, arm up everybody, and then, just declare ourselves sovereign.
Yeah.
I'm totally going to get added to a list for saying something like that.
I mean, like, most of the time when, like, libertarians have tried to, like, do their own, like, libertarian society. Yeah, well, because they're stupid about it, and also, like, they don't seem to get that you kind of need those systems in place to...
Like infrastructure,
things like that, and they're like, wait, we have to pay for that? They're like fucking cats.
Right.
Like...
Well, it's like you ask a libertarian about how you are going to solve something like, world hunger or poverty, or, somebody who's like somebody's old grandma who doesn't have health care, who has like a bone disease. You know what I mean? Like, how does capitalism solve something like that? And their answer is usually charity. And it's like, okay, from where? And who are these magical people who are all of a sudden so giving that like they have the opportunity now to give to those things, and you're saying that if we have less access for like hospitals and food and shelter and all that kind of stuff, people will just be so willingly giving. And I'm pretty sure those things break down, and that's when they block you on Reddit.
Yeah. So. Here's an idea. What if like everybody donated a little bit, and that you wouldn't really have to think about it? It would just be,
like
there's something I'm thinking about that like almost sounds really similar to that. Where like everybody gives a little bit to like the greater picture, and then they use the money that everybody gives to like do things like schools and healthcare and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then like the more money you make, there's like, I don't know, tiers. Not these kind, but like levels.
Yeah.
Where, the more money you make, you'll need less of it. So like there's like you give more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like it's important for us to be social. Like in the way that we care for each other, and we could put like an ism on that.
Sure,
and like there's something to that.
One of my favorite things, like, because a lot of libertarians are also kind of car-brained, meaning that they're just like public transportation is dumb, blah 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 blah. And my favorite thing is whenever a fucking tech bro is like, I figured out the next big, like, this is going to be the new self-driving car, blah blah blah. They always think of a train. Every goddamn time. They're like, what if there was like a self-driving car, and like you would have these preset destinations, and you could like hook up a bunch of them together, right? And you're like, trains. You fucking ended up with train every time.
Good job, bud.
Yeah.
Real solid effort, homie.
Yeah. Motherfucker. It just drives me nuts because like in the last 5 years or so, I went from like, I love driving to just I want red car back. Like, have you ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh my god, It's been a long time, but yeah.
That's what the plot of that movie is them dismantling Red Car in LA, which was like our version of the subway up until the 1940s.
Were they like trolleys like on the surface or
what?
What were they? Were they like trolleys on the surface or something?
Yeah, they were trolleys when LA was a lot smaller. And then it was, more grid focused. And then that's why LA kind of looks the way it does, is it's two small towns like ramming into each other. And that's why you have these like wonky things.
Right.
Like from where the like Culver City-ish runs into like Venice and Santa Monica. It's like a weird 45-degree angle. Was because that's the two towns growing toward each other.
I'm sorry, my brother... This is completely off topic of what we were just talking
about.
It's
the fucking show. Just go for it.
My brother just sent me a text message that just said, just to let you know, a few members of the family are probably going to ask you to buy them edibles. They just learned about it. My brother is 15, and then my mom just texted me, and then she says, I need some stronger gummies than last time.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Would do drugs.
Okay, do your parents also live in Colorado?
They do.
Okay, so why can't they go get it?
You know, my mom is she's a funny lady. She's like, she's almost like afraid of them in a way. Like she feels like very weird about them. Like you could tell that definitely like some of the stigma from her childhood is like transferred into adulthood, even though there's like a new kind of acceptance there that wasn't there before.
The reefer madness stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then
as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
But now that she's like kind of into it, like she likes them, but she still is just like scared about being like seen going to the dispensary or like her work finding out or something, you know.
Both my parents were in healthcare, and my mom, like, apparently, like anytime she's tried weed, it just hasn't worked out for her. So she's okay with it, but she doesn't really do that. And my dad, when I was growing up, he was like, "Weed's dumb. It's not gonna help anything." And then like 5 years later, that's when all the medicinal stuff started happening. And now he has Parkinson's, and he's just gone full fuck it, weed gummies all the time. And like, if you told 14-year-old me that my dad was like gonna be giving me CBD gummies when I told him about my pinched nerve, his head would have exploded. Right? Because my dad's just like, fuck yeah, I'm 70, I'm retired, everything's shaking all the time. Let's just be high. Like, fine, go for it.
Yeah, that's my plan, man. Shit, why not? Like, if you get that old and you've got pains and whatever else, and you can just chill out, then fuck yeah, why wouldn't you be high? I intend on doing mushrooms quite a bit when I'm that age. You know, I think that both mushrooms and marijuana is so incredibly beneficial. But like, there are people like you said about your parents. My parents, both my dad and my mom, they don't have any desire to do any. I think that there is that stigma. I think they also have this kind of perfectionistic mindset about themselves, where it's like if they do it, then it's like tarnishing like their image in like my head, and I'm like, I don't think that highly of you guys anyway. So just try it, guys. You know, so. I don't know, but it's you know, I think that more people should safely attempt these things because I personally have found so much benefit in them, you know.
You know, I've only ever microdosed mushrooms and it was one time. But I don't know if you've ever like cuddled someone while microdosing mushrooms. It is a spiritual healing experience, dude. It is crazy. Like, I cried. It was wild, dude. And, like, it's the one context where you can cry in a woman's arms and, like, she doesn't look at you differently in a bad way afterward, you know?
No, I absolutely agree. I had done mushrooms a few times recently. I had never touched drugs. I think we talked about this before, but, like, I had never touched drugs before until in my, you know, mid-30s or whatever. But I am a huge proponent of the psychotherapeutic effects of these kinds of things. I have personally noticed so much healing, like you said, you know, so much healing in my own self and whatever else. And it was a very spiritual experience each time. And I've had like a revelation like each time. Not like, you know, it seems so simple, you know, a lot of these kind of revelations, but in the moment you are feeling like just so much full of love and so much, you know, so I don't know, just happy in general. And I remember one time I was just kind of like taking a nap or whatever, but it was like I wasn't like seeing shapes or anything, but I was coming down and my wife was right there and my kids came in asking about food or whatever, and I was just like, I love these people so much. You know, like I was like, you gotta send the kids out because I'm gonna start crying thinking about how much I love these kids. So like, you know, but it was very, very beneficial, you know, and so I wish that that this shit wasn't, you know, illegal because then, you know, we could have way more people have the experiential benefits of it.
I mean, over time, the stigma was kind of going away and that kind of thing. My dad told me that one time when in the 70s he did mushrooms and he said the ceiling looked like lava.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always remember hearing things about like, oh yeah, I just want to go sit and look at the fucking drywall. I'm like, but have you ever looked at drywall while on mushrooms though?
Drywall trying to tell us something, dude.
I'm just so afraid to try stuff like that because of my epilepsy. I don't want to like poke the wrong button and my head explodes. That
kind of stuff is interesting. I never know like any of how that might like, you know, because there is always the fear of, even with marijuana, that you could trigger some kind of like psychotic episode if you have history of that or if you have history of that in your family and stuff as well.
Well,
I don't
weed,
know epilepsy though.
For epilepsy, weed is good for it. They're like you can smoke weed, just don't be like so drastic with it. Like don't do a fuck ton of it and then stop and then go back. Right. That kind of thing. Like keep it a wave. But I'm not sure about mushrooms or LSD.
Have you noticed the differences between like using edibles or vaping or smoking dry herb? Because that's something I've recently been going back and forth with. That I'm like, I don't want to smoke because like obviously burning things and inhaling them is not like the healthiest thing for your lungs. So I'd like to be a little healthier in my body. But then I switched to like vaping. Like that was okay because I'm like vaping the dry herb. But then I was like, well, let's do edibles and then let's try like that wax stuff that they do. Like, what's the cleanest way of like consuming this? And edibles is the cleanest it seems, but it also I feel like is not the same as smoking.
It's okay. Well, Dino swears by edibles. I'm pretty sure like 99% of this show has been Dino on edibles.
Probably.
But in my case, I don't like them because every time I've tried an edible, it just hits way too fucking hard. And like both times I did it, granted one of them was by accident, but it just like I had such a bad experience with it. I don't want to bother again. I'd rather just smoke because also you can kind of regulate it. Like if it starts getting too hot, lay off a bit. But the edible, like I already ate the brownie an hour and a half ago. This is happening. You
can't escape it.
Yeah,
it's already happening.
Yeah. And then just like I know the second time was I didn't know the lemonade had weed in it, but what are you gonna do?
Because no one expects lemonade to have weed in it.
No, they don't. I thought it was some kind of mint lemonade until someone goes, "Oh yeah, there's weed in there." I was like, "It what?"
Boy, is my thirst quenched. Excuse me.
Yeah,
weed is in everything now, dude. It is fucking. It's. Dude, it's like a spirit at this point.
I'm half expecting like weed meatloaf or some shit. Like they just start putting it on trays.
It's gonna happen, dude.
What's the point? Like I remember seeing there's a TV show that was like something about cooking high or something like that, and it was like on Netflix. It was talking about it was like a cooking competition, but then they would have to use marijuana in the dishes and stuff, right? And so I was like, okay, I'll be interested to see how they cook with marijuana. And really, it was they either had like the hash oil, and they would like add the oil to whatever they were cooking, usually like even after it was already cooked, or they would just do like a little bit of like a pepper grinder of some herb on top of something. Yeah. And I'm like, to me, that's not like cooking. You're like garnishing your food. You're making your food and then you're garnishing it with weed.
And you're like barely tying it in. It's like
you're not really tying it. I wanted some like like a Gorilla Glue enchilada.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always that, like, whenever they have the cooking competition, like, you have to use this ingredient in the dish. There's always that asshole who goes like, all right, so I had to use tomatoes in this food. So here's the food, and then I put a tomato on top.
Right, yeah.
There you go.
How would you do in one of those competitions? Would you fuck it up? Because I think I would do very well.
I can do cooking if you give me instructions and the ingredients. I can't do cooking if you put me in a room and go cook something.
So you can't just give you a picnic basket with like, octopus liver and,
One of my old roommates could. He was one of these people where like you could lock him in a walk-in freezer for 30 seconds and he'd walk out and be like, I could cook 12 things in there. Like, all right, I guess this is happening. I would literally just be like, I will give you, instead of like going out to eat, like I'll just give you some money for part of whatever you're cooking.
Yeah. You know what's funny? That reminds me. When I was working in an office, this one guy in the office who was super frugal. He always trying to like cut corners and whatnot. And I started bringing sandwiches to work. My wife and I were trying to cut down on expenses. So we were like, we're gonna make lunches. We're gonna bring lunches to work instead of like buying out or whatever. And so I started bringing sandwiches, and then this guy was like, "Oh, it looks like a pretty good sandwich." I'm like, man, I'll make you a sandwich. You want a sandwich? Sure, why not? I got stuff at home. So I started bringing him a sandwich. He's like, you know what? You start bringing me lunches. Like I'm usually spending like X amount of dollars on lunch. I'll pay you to just make me a sandwich. Make me sandwiches. You're making yourself sandwiches. I'll help you buy some of these things. I'm like, all right, I don't care. I'm making the sandwiches anyway. So I ended up, kind of making this dude sandwich. Sometimes my wife would make the sandwiches, every once in a while, that kind of stuff, back and forth. And then a couple weeks go by, And then he tells me, "Oh yeah, actually, I won't be needing any more sandwiches." And I was like, "Oh no, you don't like my sandwiches? What's going on here, man?" And he's like, "Well, no, my wife found out that like your wife was making both of us sandwiches, so she said basically, if she's going to be making my sandwiches now, so I don't need your wife to make
put
me
the
sandwiches."
kibosh on the whole thing. I am your wife.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. There was something kind of like that happened to me when I was in college, where when I was a freshman, my dorm roommate, he's like, "Can you buy condoms for me? I'll give you money to buy condoms." I'm like,
Okay.
I am so sorry, dude. Straight up, I like moved my arm forward. I hit like 5 buttons at the same time on the keyboard, and I was in a new tab, bro.
Oh,
that is my bad.
It's okay.
So why this guy's he wanted you to buy condoms for him, but you guys are both in college?
Yeah, so because he was afraid of like being judged. I'm like, you're in college. This is what you're supposed to do. But fine, he would give me like $20, and the condoms cost like $5.
It's like the exact opposite of what we should be doing for any of these kids, right? We should we see a kid buy condoms, be like, "Hey, nice job, way to be safe, buddy. Like, good job, buddy."
Yeah,
I did do that, like in the little student store or whatever. Like I just did fist bump, bam, way to stay safe. Like it. They look at me like I was insane, but I was like, "Hey, you know what? That's good." Yeah.
At that point, stop. I mean, that's negative feedback at that point. You're like, "Yeah, I guess maybe
but also, I don't know if anybody wants to get fist bumped while they're buying condoms.
It doesn't. Really it doesn't really communicate exactly a concise message, right? There's a lot of you can look into it. You can look into it and kind of apply a lot to it.
I don't know. I was just trying to be nice.
This guy's just happy to get
it's just now he's got to think about like, man, why did that guy fist bump me? He's gonna just be like sliding it on, like just now he's gonna be thinking about you, dude. Like, damn, like
he's not even gonna be able to get up. He's not gonna be able to finish. He's like, and it's all gonna be because of Atlas.
He's gonna finish and then take the condom off. He's gonna like just subconsciously go for a fist bump, and it's gonna ruin his entire relationship.
He's gonna turn over and like try and fist bump this girl.
He's thinking about me even today.
She's like, I can't be some guy who fist bumps after sex, and then she leaves him, and then he gets just desolate for the rest of his life because you fist bumped him.
Well, this is almost 10 years ago at this point, so maybe he's still.
Oh my God, he's dead!
I hope he's thinking about me wherever you are.
Still thinks about it. He can't have a solid relationship because every time he tries to, this comes up. So he can't actually have like an intimate relationship with any woman.
Oh my God. Well, Nick, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan. We got one more question before we go, but where can people find you and follow you?
You can find me and follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Nik Nieblas, NIKNIEBLAS. Yeah, come around for some shit and fart jokes, and also trying to dismantle the patriarchy.
Good stuff. You can follow the show at Generation Dan on Twitter, or Generation_Dan on Instagram. Follow Dino at Dino the Genetic One on Twitter, or just Google Dino the Genetic Marvel. Apparently, that's easy for people. You can follow me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or follow my other show at Nexus at Night in those same places. That's about a trading card game.
Well, as always, my Twitter account is just a desolate liminal space where nothing really exists, but eventually something could happen on there. So if you wanna follow me on there, go there to twitter.com/CalebCMcDuff, and that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, then our final question for Mr. Nieblas is, what is a weird set that you've had? Good, bad, otherwise, whatever. As a comic.
I remember maybe not so much a stand-up set, but I did an improv set over at when IO West was still open. And
I remember IO West.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I love that place so much. The long form improv and whatnot, and a lot of freedom there. But then we were asked last minute. We were in like a second or third level class, and our class was asked last minute to go open for like one of the house teams on like a Wednesday night or something. So it was a fairly large night. You know, one of those bigger teams, like I think like King 10 or one of them was playing, and. I just remember being so excited, our class being so excited, like, dang, we get to like play on the main stage of like, you know, iOS. This is like pretty freaking cool. And I remember as soon as we hit the stage, literally, it felt like everything I had ever learned about improv just vanished, just completely vanished. The choices that I was making, I felt like were coming from a place of just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just like saying things. I'm not listening to people. I'm ignoring, like, I feel like in a bubble, and then it was over, and like all of us just felt like, what happened? What? It's like, I don't know. I hope nobody recorded it. I hope nothing, nobody remembers it. It was just awful. And, it came off of like feeling like in our classes, we were just like so on each other's, like the same page. And then realizing, of course, it's like an entirely different monster when you try and transfer that to the stage. And it was a rough time, sure.
God damn. Was it like collective stage fright or what? Like,
I don't. It was something like nerves, and we were all very. I think everyone was like making moves too quickly, and like nothing was able to breathe. Nothing was really able to like solidify as like, here's the game we're playing, or here's the relationships that we have, and it was just so chaotic and all over the place. I don't even remember anything that anyone laughed at. I just remember like the mistakes I made. Like, I'm gonna join these people on stage. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. So. Yeah. It was rough. Like a dog's opinion.
Well, take that into next week, everybody. At Collective Stage Fright, the musical. So, thanks everybody for listening to Generation Dan. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Adios.